here, on the very rim of known space, justice is a long way away.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Space Game Junkie Podcast. I, as always, am your co-host, Brian, and joining us, thankfully, as always, is your co-host, Spaz.
Space, the final backlog.
Oh, God. Your co-host, Julie.
Happy holidays, everybody.
You're far away from the mic again. I don't know.
Happy holidays, everybody.
There we go. And your co-host, Jacob.
It's all quiet on the Western Front.
For now. And your co-host, Thorsten. Not Thorsten, David. Thorsten's not here.
In 24 hours, the world will change. The wallet will be emptied. The Steam winter sale will begin.
Oh, God. Can my wallet handle it? I hope so. Sadly, Thorsten is not with us today. He is not feeling well, and we weren't sure, Spaz. We're thankful you're here. We weren't sure you were going to be here either. So the topic today is basically what we're playing. We were going to do a look back at 2022, in gaming. But we want the whole crew here for that, because that's a big topic, and we want the whole crew here for that. So we're going to do that in the new year. But today we're just going to have, this is our last, if you're not aware, we usually don't have any streams the week of Christmas. So there aren't going to be any streams next week. So this is basically our last podcast of the year. And so we thought we'd end it light just by talking about basically what we've been playing lately. 24
Yay.
hours. Mech Warrior 5. I need to revisit that with some mods. I played it and I was like, this is kind of boring. And then I just kind of shelved it.
I still haven't gotten it, and nothing that I've heard so far can convince me to do otherwise.
Apparently, it's great with mods. That's what I keep hearing.
Yeah. That's what I've been doing. I've been playing it with mods, and it is good. That's
the approach.
Well, it's not to say that it makes the game playable. That's not the point. The point is that it just adds into the power fantasy if you want to play that way. So that's how I've been doing it.
Which is basically, what Mech Warrior is. It's a giant power fantasy. So we thought we'd just end the year on a light note, talk about the games we've been playing lately, what's been taking up our gaming time, maybe what we've been watching as well, if we have time for that. So I'll start to give everyone a moment to think about their responses. Clearly, if you watched the stream this morning or watching the stream now, I've been playing a lot of Warhammer Inquisitor of late. There's a new DLC for it called Sororitas, or Battle Sister of Battle. And it is an absolute delight. Like, if y'all know me, you know that I've been an assassin shotgunner for a very long time, at least a year or two now. Every character I've rolled has pretty much been an assassin with a shotgun, because it is just viscerally joyous to play that character. But now with the Sister of Battle with her hand flamer, oh my dear Lord. It's just...
Setting things on fire is a time-honored tradition.
It is just extra crispy all over the place, and everything melts. And depending on the weapon you use, they either melt far away from you or they melt in your face.
And nothing is original recipe. It always has to be extra crispy.
extra crispy, exactly. So I didn't play too much before the new season started, but once the new season started, the new season is terrific. It adds a lot of really fun mechanics, folks. And if you've played the game before and you want to play it again, they've now added the option to skip the campaign entirely. So if you have at least one character that has finished the campaign, you now don't have to repeat the campaign with every other character like you used to. It took them a while. They're kind of the Inquisitor team at Neocore is kind of small. I think it's only 3 people, so it takes them a while to add stuff. But once they add it, it's great. So now having the ability to have just about everything unlocked from jump is really, really nice. And I think I've put at least a dozen hours in the last week or two into Inquisitor. So playing a lot of Inquisitor got me wondering, is there a shooter, like a first or third person shooter that has similar mechanics to Inquisitor, mission based, short, lots of metagame.
Well,
you're kind of gonna probably bring up Warframe, and
I was gonna bring up Darktide, but no. So no.
Oh, okay. Does Darktide have a similar structure to Inquisitor, like mission based and quick missions? And
yes, it's much simpler. It does technically have less stuff, owing to the fact that it hasn't been out for several years at this point.
Yeah, it's brand new. Yeah. I didn't know that. I thought it was like I didn't like Vermintide, so that's why.
It's a similar-ish structure, but okay, carry on.
No. So I asked around, like in my usual gaming haunts, like what's a like a shooter with like quick missions and whatnot. And someone pointed out that the underground mode in The Division might be exactly what I'm looking for. I've never played the underground.
Division?
Yeah, I know. So I reinstalled The Division the other day. I hadn't played it in a while. I kind of petered out on it because I'm like, okay, where is this going? I didn't really know, but now I kind of know where it's going. You have to fish in I can speak today. You have to finish the story missions to unlock this underground mode, but the underground mode is basically a procedurally generated dungeon in The Division where you
sounds neat.
Yeah, so it sounds exactly like what I'm looking for. So I loaded up The Division the other day and I lost 3 hours to it. Before I knew it. Yeah, I was having a great time running around New York and sniping bad guys and doing some story missions. So
fair enough. I tried getting into both the Division games, and both the times I just didn't enjoy it because things took way too long to get put down by anything.
Yeah, there is that. I mean, but now that I have this goal of trying to get to the underground mode, which apparently is not in the second game. It's only in the first game, interestingly enough.
Interesting.
So now that I have something of a goal to do with The Division, I've been playing that as well. So those have been kind of my two go-to games. The reason I know some people probably are like, why don't you try Warframe? I didn't.
Don't do it.
You know what the big problem with me with Warframe was? The missions dragged on.
There's only one?
The missions dragged on. Like, they were like, they just felt too long. Like, I'm not done yet. I have to keep going. Oh, every time I played a mission in Warframe, I was like, really? This is still going? How would be
Warframe has a lot of issues. It is a game that is very much fun the first time you go through it, that requires you to repeat missions over and over again, putting in as little effort as possible so you get the stuff you want to actually play the other missions the way you want to.
Yeah.
The progression in that game is just completely busted, in my opinion.
Yeah, maybe that's one of the reasons. That I mean, it progression is a tough thing to nail in any game. Like, you don't want to feel like you're spinning on a hamster wheel. And in that game, I felt like I was spinning on a hamster wheel, just going round and round and round and round and round.
I have done actual farming that was less tedious than Warframe.
Oh, shit. Like physical tilling the land.
Yes. I have done some of that. It was less tiring and less tedious than Warframe's gameplay.
That might be one of the funniest things I've heard on this show.
Hey, Jacob.
That's terrific.
Warframe. Our farming so bad, actual farming is more fun.
That's a box quote right there. Warframe. Actual farming is more fun. Terrific. So yeah, some people recommended Warframe to me, and I'm like, no. But when they said The Division, I'm like, oh, I kind of like The Division, you know. And now that I know it's got this procedural New York subway thing, I want to try it. So I gotta play the story missions, but that's okay. They're fun, you know.
Good to know.
Well, there's also something like Gunfire Reborn, which is completely procedural from the beginning.
Yeah, someone mentioned Gunfire Reborn as well, so I reinstalled that. Apparently, when I tried it in early access, it was still missing a lot of crap, but apparently it's hit 1.0 recently.
Yeah, I haven't jumped back in recently, but there is co-op, so it might be something we might want to try at some point.
Wow. Okay, so we have some people in the chat saying Warframe's new player experience is the worst part of the game. You would think.
You would think
that they would make that, they would try and make that the best part of the game. Like, how do you get people into a game if your onboarding is terrible? Like,
farming, really? Game devs of your talent.
1,300 hours. Wow. 2,000 hours. Well, okay. I mean, wow. I mean, that's great if it works for you. But like I said, the real issue with me is that the missions just dragged. Like, I thought I was done. It's like, wait, I have to keep going. Oh, I want to be done. Oh, I really want to be done. That's why I love Inquisitor. That's why I love Inquisitor. You know, what was that, Jacob?
No, carry on.
No, because the missions are rarely more than 10 or 15 minutes. And it is very rare where I feel like, oh my God, this should be done by now in Inquisitor. Even on the biggest maps, you know, I never really feel, okay, what, Blueberry, are you new, by the way, Blueberry? I don't think I've noticed you. I don't think I've seen your name before. So if you're new, welcome. Hey, Luke. Luke, I don't know if you saw the stream earlier, but thank you for the stuff you emailed me in Inquisitor. I appreciate it. I don't think I wrote back in the game, so I'm saying thank you now. So what, Blueberry, I have to ask, what are you confused about? Because I have a thing where if a mission feels like it takes too long, if a mission feels like it takes too long, I want to bail. I don't know. The last time I tried a Warframe mission, it was like I thought I was done. They're like, no, you got to do this thing now. It's like, oh no, I don't want to do that thing now. I just want to go. I want to be done. New friend of David. Well, welcome, Blueberry Poot. That's a cute name, by the way. I don't know why I find it adorable. But yeah, most of my time of late has been Warhammer. I mean, I've got I'm approaching 300 hours in it, which for me and my gaming ADD is a lot. So they're doing something right, for me at least. It's not everyone's cup of tea, I know, but for me it is definitely mine. One of my favorite cups of tea. So Spaz, what's been I can talk. What's been occupying your gaming time of late?
Well, I've been bouncing around between several games, several Bullet Heaven games, because, well, even though they are short in terms of each run, the progression is fun enough that let's see, Bone Razor Minions, Tiny Rogue, Soulstone Survivors, Rogue Genesia especially. That's been taking up a lot of my time. JRPG-wise, there is Chained Echoes, which just released this month and is really incredible.
How's the multiplayer?
Okay, for those who don't know, at least five people have refunded the game.
Wait, okay.
Well, no, because people haven't listened. Yeah, so Chained Echoes is a single-player game, but as of this recording, at least 5 people have refunded the game saying that the multiplayer doesn't work. It's a purely single-player RPG experience.
Now, to clarify, there's like about a 95% chance they just picked it random because they wanted to ditch, because they didn't like the game and wanted to ditch it. But
I don't know. That seems like something you'd actually have to write out.
I think you have to write that. I think you have to write that out, don't you? I think.
No, multiplayer doesn't work is one of the pre-made options.
Oh, I know, right, that is.
Yeah, but that's
because I have actually used it a couple of times, but they would have had to select it out of the pile. There's again fairly high chance they just picked it at random.
Because there's no mention of even the word multi on the Steam page. And does it mention anything about multiplayer even in passing in the game?
No.
Nothing.
No, nothing at all.
Speaking of Chain Echoes, as far as I wanted to ask, because it does sound like a fun game, but I'm in a bit of a two minds about it. On one hand, it's a JRPG, not the biggest fan of those. On the other hand, it has some percentage of giant robots.
Yes, that is
So
true.
my question is, what percentage is that? And is it a high enough percentage for me to warrant dragging myself through my disgust towards JRPGs?
Well, here's the interesting thing about Chained Echoes. It's set up in a way that you don't actually need to grind.
What?
That doesn't answer my question.
Well,
No, this is important.
He's
This
getting
is
there.
important.
He's getting there.
Yeah,
I could
This
tell
is
that
important because
this is
you can
leading to it.
yeah, you can get through. You get through about a third of the way through the game. It's like the first two chapters basically. You start with access to mechs, and then you lose that, and then at a point in the story, you get access to mechs again, and it opens up a lot of exploration. But I mentioned that about the grinding part because you don't get XP like you normally would in most other RPGs. You just get money and use that in order to buy better equipment. Now, you can grind. There is actually stuff you can grind for, which is materials to use to craft better stuff. You can upgrade your equipment to make it a lot better, and that's what you grind for. But you can get to the point at which you unlock mechs pretty quick.
You get to keep those.
Yeah, and you get 4 of them, and you can customize a lot about
So
how
it's
they fight.
not like a gimmick you get like once every 5 hours, like I've seen in like I expected them to be. So this is very much, despite the like high fantasy aesthetic, this does sound like it plays a lot like the older Xenoverse series, the like Xenogears, for example.
Yeah, like Xenogears and Chrono Trigger in the turn-based combat.
Okay, so Chrono Trigger is that's a big name to just drag out there. That's very high praise. I hope it lives up to it.
It was very much an inspiration for the game, and it's a single developer, by the way.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, that one looks really. That one looks like someone like me. The grind was the big thing that kind of turned me off from Yakuza. As you know, I'm quite interested in Chained Echoes for that reason.
Yeah, you can grind, but there is an important point to that, which is that you're only grinding for the materials that you need in order to upgrade your equipment. If you don't want to grind for that, you can go without. But there are some areas in the game that will absolutely wreck your face if you are not prepared. And you can hit a lot of those later in the story, so you can come back to those areas later. You're meant to come back to them later.
I see.
Thank you for linking the games, David. Much appreciated. You're very quick on that. So I appreciate it.
I try.
Always.
You're lightning
always,
fast at that. Yeah, Chained Echoes looks good, and from what I've seen on the gaming communities I hang out with, it's been getting very positive reception. It's been getting a very positive reception.
Yeah.
Steam reviews are 91% positive.
Wow. Yeah, and they just announced today. The dev just announced today that New Game Plus is something that is currently being worked on.
Oh, okay. I won't ask you if we get to keep the robot, but
that I honestly don't know because I haven't hit the end of the game yet. But
fair enough.
I am at 38 hours in the game currently, and
okay,
I am having so much fun with it, just exploring. And it's not exactly grinding, but I'm going through some areas that I have gone through before because there are chests that you can miss, for example, that you don't have access to because you don't have the proper means of exploration. So you have to go back and check some of those areas. And if you played Final Fantasy VI and how the previous world versus the ruined world in the second half of the game are very different places, there are some areas that are permanently changed. And so that opens up new opportunities or closes off old ones.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's a very intriguing game. I like it a lot. I cannot recommend it highly enough.
Well,
Yeah,
again, I only didn't get it because I thought they would just use the robots as a marketing gimmick because they didn't show up like at all. They only showed up on a single screenshot. So I thought they were just going to show up once.
yeah,
and then,
yeah. You
and that's
get access to them at a certain point of the story, which actually makes sense that you get access to them at that point because there's a time skip.
Good.
And at the end of the time skip, you have access to 4 of them. You either are on foot or in your mechs with a party of 4.
Delightful.
And-
Because that's the thing I care about the most.
Well, really, I mean, you played Xenogears, so you have the same sort of idea in mind. You're either on foot or in your mechs, and
Yes,
the
I
combat is
understand.
very different. Yeah.
Uh,
Wink, we are talking about Chained Echoes.
linked further up in chat.
Yeah, no, Chained Echoes looks really good. Yeah, I'll have to get it on sale at some point. What's
Yeah,
in-
another one I got to mention, I have to mention it, is Zero Sievert.
Oh god, that game, fucking game, fucking game.
I'm guessing you're not good at it.
Oh god, no! It's a top-down survival game that is fascinating, and I am horrible at
Define
it.
fascinating.
It
Okay.
procedurally generates these massive levels that like are really well done and make sense, and they're full of neat enemies and things to loot and everything, and the graphics are delightful, and it's a fun game it's a fun world to spend time in, even though it's like post-apocalyptic. But like,
I see. It's a top-down stalker-like. Okay,
Yes.
In fact,
I see.
not
Yeah,
only
I
is it
see what we're
stalker-like,
cooking with.
not only is it a stalker-like, there are anomalies spread around the maps. And you actually can, using the G key, throw bolts to try to figure out where they are.
I know exactly what we're cooking with. Thank you very much. I am getting that the second I have the funds for it because I'm morally
It's-
and legally obliged to. It's a stalker-like.
I have 72.7 hours in it.
oh jeez, it is so. I am terrible at
You
it.
can
I'm so
you can
bad at
die
it.
in a few hits if you are not careful. And if you
That's
do
the
play carefully,
experience.
yeah, if you are careful, you kill an enemy, you want to clear the area before you start looting. I think that's the biggest mistake a lot of newbies will make, is that they
yeah,
will just
I've
run
done
up to
that.
the body and immediately try to loot without actually making sure that the area around them is clear, and then they get
So-
attacked and killed while they're in the inventory screen.
So my Tarkov senses will in fact help me here.
I would assume so, yes.
Oh my god! Like I tried to play it the other day, and like I'm trying to be very slow and sneaky and not attract anyone's attention, and got killed by a sniper. Like, oh fuck you, Gabe! Oh god, yeah. I wanna. It's not the game. It's me. I know it's me. But man, fucking game.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, you could turn a corner and be shot dead in seconds
Yeah.
because
That
there's
has
someone right
happened.
around the corner. You can often hear them before you see them. Like if there are metal floorings, you can hear them walking around. If they're a wolf, you'll hear the wolf cry, the wolf howl, and sometimes they will lie down, and you won't notice that they're not moving. But if you've got a laser sight, you move that laser sight around, and if that line gets broken, there is something there. Oh, Jose, I've also been playing a lot of Star Traders Frontiers. Yeah.
It's so good. Right, so
That's another thing I've been playing lately. As I said, I've been bouncing between a lot of games, and Valheim is also on there,
Sounds
as
like-
well as River City Girls 2, which just came out.
Sounds like me. Sounds like me. Just sounds like you almost got the ADHD.
Ooh, shiny thing.
Pretty much.
I've had a lot of time recently.
That's fair. I mean, you got to enjoy yourself if you have the time. You know. Absolutely. I just wish Inquisitor would come to Switch. I know it never will, but I wish it would. I would literally murder someone to bring.
Julie, stop infecting other podcast members.
No, I love my Switch. I'm just glad I now have a laptop where I can play Inquisitor like in the other room as well. So that is really nice. Anyway, so that's Spaz. Those are the varied games that you've been playing.
Yeah. As I said, I've been playing a lot of Bullet Heavens and then those major ones that I've mentioned. Yeah.
Now, Wink, I don't see the need. I don't have a use case for the deck because I rarely leave the house. I don't like commute anywhere, and I have a gaming laptop that can play just about everything I want. So and a Switch. So I don't need the how much is a deck? $600? Yeah,
Something silly like that.
Yeah, I mean, if I had a use case for it, like I was going to a job and I was taking a bus, I could maybe see the use for a deck. But since I have a Switch and a laptop, no, I don't really need a deck.
Well, you can play Warhammer Mechanicus on Switch. I know it's a poor substitute, but
it is a very poor substitute. It is not the same in any way. So, Julie, what have you been playing? Probably not Mechanicus, I'm guessing.
no. But first, I don't know if I should thank you or not, but you are the one who introduced me to Warhammer Inquisitor, and twice in the last week I have looked up and seen 1 o'clock in the morning at the clock and said, oh my God, I got to get up at 7 for work. So that is one of my primary games. I am up to level 48 now.
Nice.
Luke and David and I played it just before the show.
Oh, nice.
The other thing is a friend of mine is the director of Conan Exiles, and so he gifted me the complete game, and we alternate. We have a static group on Sundays, and every Sunday evening, and we alternate between that game and Final Fantasy 14. So the other thing that I've been playing in here, I'm sure everybody's heard of it, but I've got a link to it here, is Horizon Zero Dawn, which is what my big Steam purchase was on the last sale. And I've been having a lot of fun with it. I've had some people who talk about it running poorly, but maybe it's because I just got a new computer thanks to my sister here, and runs as smooth as a bunny's bottom, and I have not had any problems at all.
I've played it. It's serviceable.
And the other thing is, because normally I always say I only do math when I get paid to do it. I can link a picture here, but I have, and this is on Switch, it's on just about everything, but it's a puzzle game which I play to kind of keep my mind sharp, and most of the puzzles are like that, and you can go out on Facebook and you have to guide the little rule.
Oh,
Hello?
Julie.
We lost your audio for a second.
Julie. Oh, crap.
Ground control to Julie.
That sounded like a cell phone call. That's...
Oh,
Julie.
hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
What happened?
Oh, there we go. My headphone set has this funky little switch on it. Anyway,
Don't press it.
Don't press it. It's
So
hard not to.
what is this puzzle game you were just talking about?
The thing is, this was done by one dev, and it started out as just a little Android thing, and now it's on Switch and a whole bunch of other things. But it's the whole deal is, you see how complex the little 3D thing is, and you can spin it 360 degrees up, down, backwards, and you can see the little robot, and the goal is you have to figure out how to get the robot through the entire maze, and the maze moves, and it's a puzzle, and I play it just to try and keep my mind exercised and sharp while I am otherwise vegetating and playing Inquisitor. But
what's it called?
it's called Mechorama. And I'd like to, because if I just said Mechorama, nobody would probably know what it is. But my doctor suggested playing puzzle games to some way to keep your mind active as you get older. And I guess I qualify as older. I'm over 60 now. So, and I will say, as a friend of mine said, that I'm also playing the real life game because I'm rewriting my first book and writing the second one. And I'm on the second draft of the first book. So that working full time keeps me busy.
Well, that's awesome. All right, who's next? I guess Jacob. I guess you're up. What have you been playing lately?
It would be me, and I've been playing not actually that many games. Right, so so the big thing is I've stopped my MMO laser focus on Final Fantasy 14 and switched to an MMO laser focus on Guild Wars 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, did you just get the Steam release? Is that why?
Yes. Now, admittedly, I did technically play the game from close to day one, but well, obviously, but I decided to start a new character and play the game from the ground up, and I've been enjoying myself, especially owing to the fact that I've found people to actually play with and that can help me do stuff. The game is a lot of fun. It is very unique as far as MMOs go. It is far less pigeonholey in terms of roles. It has some weird quirks to it. The monetization is fiddly, to say the least. It does have the upside of not having a subscription, but it does try to get money out of you in other ways.
Yeah, like season passes and things like that.
Yes, exactly. There's obviously there's expansions, the big one. There's other stuff related to them. There's cosmetics, but overall, I enjoyed it a lot. Not much else to say there without going into way too much detail. Other stuff I've been playing is recently released Warhammer 40k Darktide. Why? Because I think it's neat. I've made the correct choice of picking the Ogryn class, which is very notorious because it's the one class that requires the least effort on the part of the player, because you pretty much just apply your face into the enemy horde and spam the left mouse button and win.
So
you're like me, you just...
What is the Ogryn? I'm not familiar. What is the Ogryn class?
He's the big schmuck on the cover.
Oh,
the big guy.
So is it a melee class?
It's primarily a melee class. You can also take either an automatic shotgun or a machine gun or a single shot grenade launcher.
Sorry.
It is predominantly the big crowd clearing class. That's the primary gimmick of the Ogryn. Obviously, this is a Tide game from Fat Shark, so it's got a lot of swarms of angry chaos things trying to eat you. And the Ogryn is the best solution to them, be it through liberal application of shotgun, machine gun, or mace. I did particularly enjoy it. I understand anyone who says it's not that good. It does have its problems in that it feels like an early access release in some aspects.
Oh, still? Even though it's like a 1.0?
Yes, despite not being one. It feels like it's kind of underdeveloped. It's got a good core gameplay loop, but it's rather fiddly when it comes to other stuff. So I wouldn't even say get it immediately or whatever. Get it either on sale or wait until it gets better, because it looks like it's going to.
Yeah, that's what I've been looking at it. I'm like, it's Warhammer and it's 40k, and I love 40k video games, but it's it looks like it needs some more time in the oven. Maybe a little more content.
Right. No arguments there. It does have the upside of only releasing it at $40 base rather than the $60 you'd expect from a game of this caliber.
Yeah, I think that is pretty. What was that?
Can I ask you? I'm looking at the trailer here, and I haven't heard of the game until I saw it in the Steam the stream this morning, but I see like the little ship, and then I see the little area that they're running through and the run and gun thing. Is this like set on more than one planet, or is that just
no? It's a single big planet, though it does have a few different sites to go to, but it is usually grungy Warhammer 40k nightmare place when it comes to the environments. The environments are absolutely gorgeous looking, but they can be samey. Chad is asking about 40k Demon Hunters. It is serviceable.
It looks a bit
exceptional.
It looks a bit XCOM-y, right? That's the one.
Yes,
that's kind of
and when you
XCOM-y?
compare it against XCOM, it's okay. It's one of those GW shotgun games where they just give the license out to anyone brave enough, and they just make a different game with a 40k license slapped onto it, and it turns out decent.
And I know some people who absolutely love it. Love that one. Like they absolutely
that's fair.
love it.
I think it's okay. But yes, Dark Tide. Personally, quite enjoyed it. Would not massively recommend it for everyone. But if you're a person that enjoyed the Vermintide games, it will still be fun in the same core gameplay loop sense. And it's not. And if you find it on sale, which might happen sooner or later, then definitely snag it.
Have you played it with bots at all? Like I've heard you can play it entirely with bots. If
you sort of can. It's not practical. It is also there's also very minimal reason to do so. Because trust me, the bots will somehow rush and be more annoying than players.
It's amazing that some of the best bots in a game like that are still like Unreal Tournament. You know, like still like the best bots in the business are 20 plus years old at this point.
The thing with me with PvP games, and one of my friends is older than I am, and even though he was a combat vet, he said he doesn't do PvP anymore because he doesn't want to get his ass handed to him by people half his age who have the reaction time of a rattlesnake on meth. So I know I'm not going to be able to compete well, right. And that's why I tend to shy away from PvP games.
Well, that game is co-op.
Yes, it is.
It looked like it was PvP, so
no, it is pure co-op.
It's kind of like Deep Rock Galactic in that you're a party of four,
and you're supposed to chew through a level, survive, and do an objective and leave.
Yeah, it's basically
that's a whole other kettle of fish. Then, wow. Hopefully, it goes on sale. I'd like to try it.
Probably not for a little while because it just came out.
Like it is fresh out the box and already at a less than $60 price.
Yeah, but it's a little. I think it's a little too new to really go on a deep sale just yet. You probably want to wait.
Yes. Besides that, what other things have I been torturing myself with? In this case, Dwarf Fortress. So the torture is very much appropriate. That game is.
I look at it. And it looks interesting, and then I look at the myriad of beginner YouTube videos that people have made, like Dash Tactic.
They start at 6 hours. Yes,
yeah, Dash Tactic is my favorite, and he's got like I think an 8-hour stream just for like series of videos just for beginners. I'm like,
it's a pretty spicy one.
Yeah, I don't know if I could.
Just don't, Brian.
I just don't think I should. I kind of want to get it just to one, support this kind of game, and two, I want to see the worlds being built. Like that looks fascinating to me. But
yeah, personally, I enjoyed it dramatically. But it is a game for insane people, and we have already established on this podcast multiple times, I am insane people.
Yeah, I think once they add adventure mode, which I'm much more interested in, that's probably when I'll dive in.
All right. Yeah.
Even then, Brian, I don't know, man.
I don't know either.
Really
I've tried the ASCII version a couple of times, and it kind of feels as almost as impenetrable as Caves of Cud in that regard.
Caves of Cud is worse.
Oh, bad.
I watched Luke play it when one day when David and Luke and I were talking, and the thing is, I've done some base building games, but it looks so complex. It brings me back to my advanced statistics class where they had to teach us how to do linear regression by hand, and I saw all the charts. And I said, "Oh my God, I'll never handle it."
It does look like that. Yeah, it does look.
Well, as someone who's made it through college level mathematics, I guess I'm the target audience. And yes, this is Dwarf Fortress.
Yeah, the game looks fascinating, but kind of like Eve, it looks like something I want to read about later rather than actually play.
Oh, coincidentally, I have also played Eve Online. I haven't played it in a year now? 2 years?
Oh,
a while.
What brought you back?
Nothing right now. I'm not playing it. I haven't for 2 years.
Right. It does look like work, Jose. It does, and I prefer things on the simpler side, which is why I love Inquisitor. It's like just run around and kill. You know, easy.
Apply gun to enemy face.
Melt. But yeah, Dwarf Fortress looks fascinating, but I just don't think I should play it. Honestly, it's just like I love that a game like that exists for people like Jacob and other people who want to dive into something that deep and detailed. But wow, it looks. I don't know if my brain can handle it. Like, honestly, I don't think I'm smart enough to play Dwarf Fortress. I'll just say it. I don't think I'm smart enough.
It does seem like it would make you feel like an idiot.
Yes.
And that's yeah. I mean, you've said that before about other games, and if they were too complex for you, then I would not recommend Dwarf Fortress.
Like people look at the ASCII art for Starfleet 2 and assume it's Dwarf Fortress in space, and it's not at all.
It is somehow less convoluted.
I think that is the most complex, maybe Battle Cruiser 3000 that I can handle. And that's involving like one single spaceship. We're talking about a full thing full of thousands of dwarves, and you have to worry about their toilets. Like, one thing that almost got me to buy the game is that apparently there are cats in the game in Dwarf Fortress. And you cannot assign them an owner. They choose their owner.
Yes, they adopt dwarves as their owners with an asterisk.
I love that so much. I almost bought the game based on that alone.
Yes, there's a lot of silly stuff with cats in this game because the author Toady One owns a cat and he tried to model them as accurately as possible, and he ended up having a patch where a bunch of cats died of alcohol poisoning.
What? Oh
no! Right, so here's what happened.
Oh no!
When dwarves are in a tavern and they get assigned a job when they're holding a drink, they do what a dwarf does and immediately just chuck the drink onto the floor and go. So the drink ends up on the floor. Now, when cats walk over liquid, they get soaked in that liquid, like things that walk on liquid tend to do. So, and then Toady programmed in that cats lick themselves, which is fair enough. They do that.
Oh, no.
And then he programmed in that when cats lick themselves, they ingest whatever is on them, failing to account for the fact that it counts them as having drunk the entire mug of beer, while also taking into account the differences in mass, because Toady is insane and had that as a precedent already. So a bunch of cats ended up dying of alcohol poisoning for like a whole patch.
Oh,
that's so
Welcome
dark.
to Dwarf Fortress.
Wow.
And that's not even getting into the Merfolk genocide.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, this game sounds like an amazing story generator.
Oh yes,
emergent alcoholism.
Emergent alcoholism. Emergent kitten alcohol poisoning.
No.
That's a tagline.
Oh.
Cut, print, done.
But yeah, Jacob, if anyone on this show, if any of us co-hosts, I would imagine are playing Dwarf Fortress, you would be the first on my list.
I'm glad I've developed my reputation as the insane person here. Apparently,
the simulation loving deep diver, basically.
Yes. If it doesn't have a fall damage chart, don't get it. I'm not interested.
If it doesn't have fall damage, it's crap.
Speaking of charts, I on top of video games I've been playing a lot. I've also been getting heavily into tabletop war games, specifically the ones by Ad Astra Games, specifically Squadron Strike, which is fun.
Right,
it's spacey.
We're gonna have him on the show. Yes, at some point.
He asked very politely if he could be on the show, and we agreed.
Yeah, and then he wrote me. I'm just gonna say he wrote me. He's like, "Hey, you want to do a training session?" I'm like, "Sure." How long do they last? 3 hours, and I just shriveled into a ball and died.
That's an average playtime. No. It's a tabletop game. It's not a.
No, it's a tabletop game, David. It's Ad Astra. It's right. It's very detailed. Space fighter combat. Am I remembering that correctly?
Okay, depends on the game, because the one I've been playing is Squadron Strike, which is the entry level game in Ad Astra Games' repertoire, designed to essentially try to roughly simulate any kind of sci-fi setting with whatever the local degree of realism is, as well as provide as many play aids as possible to make it so, in theory, the only thing you need to know to play the game is how to count to 3.
Yeah. I just see time to learn 1 to 2 hours, and I just want to go into the corner and cry.
Admittedly, it is a lot easier to learn with an actual person than it is by reading the book. Because the thing is, the way Squadron Strike works is it relies on settings. It's setting specific, and each setting has about 20% of the stuff in the book on a good day, something like that. So you have this massive book filled to the brim with rules, and you're only going to use like 1 out of 5 of them. Which is why it's much better to learn with a person and learn and teach a specific setting for it, like Traveler or Newton's Cradle or Starfleet Battles. When that gets, it's currently in licensing hell. So that's
Starfleet Battles.
That's all I can say.
Starfleet Battles.
Yes.
That sucks.
You know what that is, I believe.
Yeah. Sure.
I do.
Yeah. Of course.
Yes, it's currently in this weird licensing limbo where it's going to someone except not. The point being, Squadron Strike is what I've been playing. There is also Attack Vector Tactical for people who are more insane than me,
which is saying something.
Which is saying a lot. And they also have a jet combat game called Birds of Prey that like 6 people total have played, and I'm somehow not 2 of them. But yes, I've been playing a lot of Squadron Strike, basically weekly. Been helping Ken of the CEO of Ad Astra playtest. Playtest a lot of modules.
Oh, that's
and
great.
He has actually officially asked me, and by officially I mean just sent me a message of Discord. Hey, do you want to like have the script I used to teach people, and you can like teach people the game in an EU time zone? And I went, sure, mate. If you think I'm qualified, I'll take it.
I think once we get him scheduled on the show, we should probably maybe I'll get down that. Finding 3 hours to do anything is tough sometimes.
Yes.
So.
Now to clarify, he did not ask, if memory serves it. What the game he asked is not Squadron Strike. It's a what was it called again? I'll explain that.
I don't remember. But yeah, we'll probably have him back on the show after the new year. We had him on years ago, and it was a fun time. But we'll definitely have him back on. No, he's a great guy.
He's great.
I'm friends with him on Facebook. He's a great guy. He's very funny. So
Right,
I'm
we're missing David.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to David yet. David, what are you playing?
I haven't been bouncing around a few games here. I can't get as detailed as you guys because of the time and all, so I'll try to be quicker.
Nah, we don't want to rush.
Don't rush.
First of all, Brian, I want to thank you for showing off this game because this is fun. I only have 5 hours in it, but
Well, tell us what it is.
Star Math.
Oh
Interstellar
God,
Road 2, it's a
that
good
game
time.
is so freaking great.
What
Who
is
knew?
this?
Who knew that math could be fun?
It's a math-based combat game made by the guy who made Interstellar Rogue, which is a very good game on its own. But now the sequel is a math-based game where you have to do maths to attack your enemies. And
How have I not played this yet?
it's
basically like
it's
Math
so-
Blaster 3 or anything.
it's so good.
It's really good.
So good. Like I love just loading up around every now and again, just like doing some maths. And I've never had more fun doing math. I'm usually not a fan of math, but
Same here.
Star Math Interstellar Rogue 2 is freaking terrific. Like,
Well, I'm the weirdo that enjoys math, so that probably means I like it a lot.
oh, you will probably enjoy this very much because you can when you get to a certain number in the math, you can either repair your own ships or attack enemy ships, and it can really be a brain buster because it's like, okay, to attack that ship, I need a negative 87. Okay, what do I got? You know, and
Okay, so you have a target number, and you need to like do actual equations to get to that target number.
yes,
Yeah.
and
I see. So it's not just bigger number; it's a specific like assemble formulas to get a specific result. I see.
exactly.
Exactly.
And you can unlock new ships that give you new powers and all sorts of stuff. And there's like dozens of ships to unlock that you can take with you on your runs. Yeah, it is. That's a good one, David. That's a really good one. I'm really happy I was able to introduce you and others to that one because, yeah, his first game was
Really
great.
impressed.
His first game was great, and then when he announced this one, I'm like, what? What is happening? But then I played it. I'm like, oh, this is terrific. This is absolutely terrific. Yeah, I can't recommend that one enough, folks. I don't think it's very expensive either. I think it's like what, $5, $10,
$12 currently.
Yeah, it'll probably be on sale too in the upcoming Steam sale because it like was released in July, so that's more than enough. But yeah, this game is absolutely terrific. I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, good choice, David.
All right. To number 2, something else that I've been playing. I kind of bounced off of Vampire Survivors when it came out. And then Spaz introduced me to Void Scrappers.
Yes.
So I tried that one out. And that one clicked with me. I gotta say, it's really nice. And yeah, once again, I bounced off of Vampire Survivors. I'm getting back to that later because things have changed. Let's just say that. But basically, this is Vampire Survivors in space. Mechanics are a little bit different. How you can combine 3 weapons into one ultimate weapon right away, and you can stack multiple ultimate weapons on top of each other, which is very nice.
It's very fun.
It's very fun. It doesn't feel like it has the same amount of content as in Vampire Survivors, though. So I hope the developer can do some more work with the game. It's still in early access, right?
I think so. Hang on.
Oh no, it isn't. It isn't according to Steam. Oh, okay.
Oh,
So I guess the Lost Character that came out was the 1.0 release. So that is something probably a lot of people are going to compare because, yeah, let's see, where is come on.
Now, granted, the game is $4 at the moment,
Yeah, thanks.
and that's the base price for Void Scrappers.
But I had some fun in that game. Let's just say that. It's a little bit weird when I get to threat level 40, though, compared to minute 30 in Vampire Survivors. Once again, some mechanics are a little bit different. And I also read some people are claiming they can get motion sick from Void Scrappers, and I believe that is because the ship is actually moving on the screen as the screen is scrolling. if it would be centered like in Vampire Survivors, things would probably be different, I believe.
There's also drift. There's a drift whenever you stop moving. You still have, you let go of the control. You will still drift in whatever direction you were moving. So that's also a factor.
Yeah. So I wonder if a developer can work on that, because I think that could help some people. I don't know how that would be possible though, because that's like a mechanic of the game with all the drift and moving things on the screen and all that stuff. But yeah, back to Vampire Survivors. It finally clicked with me. From 1/2 an hour to 14 hours suddenly. What happened? I don't know. Spaz,
Where did all the time go?
what happened? I don't understand. I've been completely consumed by Vampire Survivors. I don't get it. So, okay, for those listening in, Vampire Survivors is, I don't want to say, is this the first? Can we claim it will be the first?
I don't think it is, but it did kick off a huge number of other Bullet Heaven type games.
Yeah, I don't know what the first
to define
one
it, by the way, Bullet Heaven is the opposite of a bullet hell. You are shooting out all of the projectiles, and you are avoiding the enemies as you do that.
Yeah. So basically, you just, if you like the good old like arcade machines with shoot 'em ups, but basically you are the one giving the bullets, let's just say, and just want to blow stuff up. Yeah, you can't go wrong with Vampire Survivors. Holy crap! So yeah, and it has so many unlockable things. It's insane. So basically, like every achievement has something being unlocked. It is something. And it had gotten an DLC expansion thing with one new map and a few new characters, new weapons. Yeah, it's the good stuff, people. I'm sorry I bounced off the game, but it is something special.
Well, that fixed itself, didn't it?
Yeah, I guess Void Scrappers inspired me to go back to Vampire Survivors, and yeah, that really clicked me back then. Okay, I'm running out of time here. I need to hurry up.
Why? No, we're not running out of time.
Okay.
We're not on a timer.
Yeah, there's no timer today. So last week we had a hard stop because someone asked for it, but there's no hard stop this week.
Okay. Another game I have been playing, even finished. Holy crap, I did finish it after 85 hours.
Whoa.
Is this little thing, Labyrinth of Profane Covenant of Dusk, which is I was kind of inspired by you, Ryan, when you played Yakuza Like a Dragon, to play some JRPG or anything. This is more like a dungeon RPG instead. But basically, you build a giant party. You can have up to, it's not visible on many of the screenshots here, but you can have up to 40 characters in the party, all doing stuff.
That is literally a party. Oh my god.
Yeah. And basically every character in this party have something to do. Either they're on the front line or they're in the back supporting frontline characters with buffs or special skills or something like that. It's absolutely insane. And it's from the guys on Nipponichi, which made Disgaea. And I always loved Disgaea, but it's very grindy. And this game is no different. Holy crap, Brian, don't play this game because this is so freaking grindy.
Yeah, I can confirm that. I can absolutely confirm that.
And like I said, I completed the story, and what is it? Something 75% into the game, it grinds to a halt. Not grinding wise, but how to progress in the story. Because when you're in the dungeon, you get like a little pointer. Oh, there's an exclamation mark here. You should go there. Sometimes story happen, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes there's a boss there. It doesn't really tell. So that's a big dock, if I would say something. So if you're exploring and your party is about to be wiped, and oh look at that, I can finally continue the story and then return to base. Oh, surprise! It was a boss fight.
Yeah, this sounds like not for me in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
It's a great game, just not a great game for Brian.
Yeah. And there's so many mechanics going on in the game. Like all characters in your party are divided into small groups called covens. which can contain then 3 attackers and 5 backers, which sums up at 40 if I'm correct. All these characters can actually bond with each other as well. And all personality assigned to these characters changes their stats they get from items. So if I have someone who is brave, that character will get more attack and maybe some crit chance, but they won't meld or combine as well with someone who's reckless or something like that. So they won't get along as well. And if they get along, you will get some bonus attacks and chain attacks in your party, which is very cool to see when it happens. But yeah, it's not a happy story, and there's some major mature themes in the game. It doesn't look like it according to the artwork on the screenshots. Let's just say that. But there are some mature themes in there, which maybe I should have talked about on the stream, but it's kind of surprising.
Yeah, when I saw the artwork, I said, oh, this is like very JRPG, very anime. And then I went out to Steam and it says mature themes on it. I said, wow.
It's not joking around with those themes as well. And apparently it's going to get a sequel, which was released back in Japan for quite some time ago, but never made it to the West. And it's finally getting localized, which is coming in February. I'm going to link it just for a second. Come on. So this is something I really look forward to this year. It's not going to be related story-wise from Wireless Dad. It's going to be a separate story, a separate world, separate characters. Nothing's going to carry over from the first game. So it's a little bit sad to say goodbye to the previous characters.
I had to step away for a second. Which game are you talking about?
The sequel for Labyrinth of Refrain.
Oh, there's a sequel? Oh my god!
It's going to be a sequel.
Extremely Japanese.
Holy moly!
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, it's not even out yet. Coming out on Valentine's Day.
Coming next year. And then also, I've been playing Signalis and finished it.
Signalis.
Do not play this game if you're depressed. I warn you. Do not play this game if you're depressed. It is a very depressing story.
Well, it uses two words. It uses 2 words called survival and horror that make me not want to play it at all.
Yeah.
That's a fair one.
It's a survival horror game with some heavy inspiration from Neon Genesis Evangelion, Resident Evil, Silent Hill. It's amazing stuff in there.
It's pure distilled depression. I know the genre here.
Yes.
I know the genre. I know where this one's going. You start the game fearing death. You end the game wishing you were dead. Yeah, I'm familiar.
This sounds like one of those BBC dramas I see all the time, where like all the main characters die.
You're not wrong, Julie.
I admire the honesty. Also, I think I have this one because of Humble Bundle throwing games at me.
See, it's not the die thing that bothers me. It's the fact that you told me I would wish I was dead. I said, oh my gosh.
It's a whole thing. I know exactly what genre this is, and I know it's going to be a whole thing.
But I gotta say, the writing is really good. The world building is amazing because if you look at the screenshots, you may notice that everything looks like it's some kind of forgotten 80s or 90s or something like that. And there's story reasons for it. And it takes place in some kind of society or, country, I suppose we can call it, nation, that is heavily inspired by East Germany. So there's a lot of German in the game as well. A lot of fascism and all that stuff. It's very depressing. Yes, I'd say that.
Sounds exactly like my kind of game.
Yeah, and the artwork is amazing in this game.
Is this the game you posted about the other day where you clicked on a window and it just said space?
Yes, that's the one. At one point in the game, you can exit the cockpit of a spaceship, and then you can. Oh, there's an examine prompt for the window. Let's examine space.
Don't know what I expected.
Oh, yes, it is.
The most German approach to seeing the infinite sea of stars and the dwarfing consequence thereof. Yep, it's space.
Yep, but it's really good. I hope it wins some prizes because it's two guys. I don't want to say guys. I don't know if they're women.
People,
but two people have made a game, and wow, this is a piece of art. If in my eyes, I just want to say.
It astounds me is as it's described as a tense and melancholic experience of cosmic dread. Holy mackerel!
They're not exactly hiding it.
And Julie, I got news for you. It's available on the Switch.
This is one
Yay!
Yay! Julie's bingo! I can get even more depressed on the Switch.
But yeah, it's a thing. Let's just say that. I'll probably talk more about it later.
Get a screen protector and a case for your Switch to protect it from your tears, basically.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So that's what everyone's been playing. Wow, good mix of stuff. You know, some.
I got one more to toss out.
Oh, go for it
before we wrap up. So this one, if it goes on sale, if you like strategy or tactics in your RPGs, if this goes on sale, snag it. Symphony of War: The Nephilim Saga.
Oh, really?
Holy crap, that game is good.
Oh, it is so good. I have 93 hours in it, and I completed the game once. I still haven't done it on the highest difficulty, but I'm going to dive back into it.
Yeah, I love. I think it's great. It's genuine. It's Fire Emblem, but better. Just straight up.
And the squad mechanics are very interesting because I spent a third of my time with the game just tweaking my squad setups. Because there are so many different synergies between how you can build your squads out. So if you liked Ogre Battle, and this is the thing I compare it to. If you like the game Ogre Battle from the console from the SNES console era, from the N64 console era, you will love this. And if you played Fire Emblem, yeah, this is very much in that same vein.
I mostly just like it because you can give everyone guns.
You can. And they're very powerful.
Yeah, they're very scary. And it is just, you can give everyone guns.
And you've got dragons. Dragons are really, really nice.
You can't give the dragons guns, sadly, but it's close enough.
No, but you can have a dragon in the squad along with cannon. That's actually a thing.
Yes, definitely.
Is it a game I would like, do you think? I'll ask the people who know best.
Spaz?
I would say that would be a hard call because there is some grinding that you can do. It's optional. It is optional grinding. I have to make sure to specify that because you can go through the story and initially there was no option really to grind aside from the arena. And you would get tokens occasionally from doing battles, and then you'd be able to grind in the arena if you wanted to build up some troops. You have now the option to grind as long as you have money to grind. So there is that. But for the most part, you don't have to grind battles. Some battles can be kind of long though, and it's almost all story based. It's a very mostly linear campaign, and it took me about 85 hours to complete. I was doing everything though. I was again spending around 30 hours just tweaking squads. So there is that, but it's so deep in the customization that it actually makes it worth it.
I actually like Tactics Ogre a lot. I got it for the Switch and I've been toying with it, but I played it on the Vita a while back too, and I like that game. It didn't feel too grindy. Maybe I didn't get too into it, but it never felt too grindy, that game. So
yeah, and this one has basically no grind unless you really want to.
Or play on hard difficulty, which don't.
Yeah, just don't play on hard difficulty. Just play on the normal difficulty or run easy. It'll be fine.
I'll keep an
How
eye.
difficult it is for people who like suffering or who thought that Fire Emblem's normal hard modes was somehow was somehow just too relaxing for them.
No, I mean there is permadeath for your units, so if you're not careful,
But only on hard mode.
yeah. So they added in an option where you can turn permadeath on or off even on easier modes than hard,
Don't.
which you should not do. You should have permadeath off and just play it the way you want to play it in a more casual way. You will still hit a few story points in which units disappear from your team, but you will typically be able to get them back. I'll just put it that way.
I have one more I'd like to add as well, if I may. I
Sure.
just bought it, and it was on sale. It's not anymore. But see, I used to have cats, and then I developed a severe allergy to cats, and I broke out recently where it was like having shards of glass stuck in your body. And I told my doctor, I said, if they had asked me for the nuclear codes at that point, I would have given them all. So I missed my cat, and Stray was on sale. And I said, wow, this sounds like just the game for people who miss their cat. It looks like a lot of fun. I haven't played it yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
It's very much a thing. I don't want to spoil anything for you. Aside from one thing I will say, one little tip, meow at everything. I will say no more.
Okay.
Now,
There's a dedicated meow button. Yes.
use it on everything.
Use it on everything.
Yeah.
I will say no more
Now-
beyond that.
All considered, good advice if you're a cat.
Yeah, this is true.
See, it's a chance for me to get to spend time with Chaos, even though Chaos has gone to her great reward. But you know,
I know the
Right.
feeling. I lost my last cat in 2005. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been
you know,
without one since then.
my doctor said you got to get rid of your cat or you're going to die, and I said I'll think about it.
Good
Oh
answer.
no.
I got dogs now. But there aren't any dog games that I'm aware of. But this game looks like really fun. Cats and post-apocalyptic worlds. What's not to like?
It's very much an experience. I will say not much more on that than what I've already said.
And now I've learned meow at everything.
It kind of looks
Yes.
like
Probably pick it up when I have a
it
computer.
looks like Tokyo Jungle to me. I don't know if any of you have played Tokyo Jungle.
No, it's not like Tokyo Jungle. at
Oh, it
all.
isn't. Oh,
No.
okay. All
No.
right.
No, it's
No.
That's good. That's not a bad thing. I love Tokyo Jungle though. If y'all don't know what I mean, it was a PlayStation 3 only game where you play animals in a post-apocalyptic Tokyo with no humans. Crazy game.
The name rings a bell. Was it any good?
Yes.
it was janky, but it was also very good.
It was very good. And they also made a portable, like, turn-based combat game based on it that was also very good. But
Didn't you play as dinosaurs in Tokyo Jungle? Remember that correctly?
no, I don't think you
that
play
was
as
kind of a thing.
dinosaurs. Can you play as?
Kind of.
You can?
Kind of.
No, that's
Kind
not.
of.
You can mate with them and kind of make a Pomeranian dinosaur.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can mate with
Amazing.
the dinosaurs to make a hybrid dog dinosaur in Tokyo Jungle. I'm not even making this up.
Okay, we need to wrap this up. Things are getting very weird very quickly.
So friends, this is going to be the last podcast of the year. If this is all you listen to for us, I want to wish you all happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. And
Thanks for supporting us on Patreon if you have.
yeah, or not. If you just listen, that's fine too. Thank you for listening. Hope you have a very festive, joyful, and safe holiday season. Hope you have a happy New Year's, however you celebrate. I can't believe we're almost out of 2020. Sorry.
It was a decade ago by this point.
No, it's
My God.
no, it's so weird. We're almost to 2023. It's so.
I still
freaking
haven't
weird.
processed 2020.
I most of us haven't. Most of us have.
And some of us are wondering when that giant meteor is coming. We've been kind of
Yes.
expecting it for a while now.
I wish it would. I wish it would. All right. That's going to do it for us, friends. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season. Be safe, be well. Please take care of each other. Trust the science and get your shots if you haven't already. My God, we don't need polio coming back, people. And
All right, that's a thing.
Holidays.
my God, and have a wonderful holiday season. And we'll either see you on the stream or we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Have a great one, everyone.